What's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose, where I keep you up to date with everything going on in the gaming world, and I hope you had a good weekend. And there was a lot of things happening this weekend, especially for Nintendo. Insiders are now claiming that a new Paper Mario will be releasing for the Nintendo Switch this year, and also a 2D Metroid. So we will talk about those here in just a moment, including a new Nintendo patent that has surfaced on the World Wide Webs. We do have some other stuff to talk about as well though, because speculation has really ramped up over the past weekend that PlayStation will be releasing more games on PC, and this may even include The Last of Us 2. Also, we got some new information on Left 4 Dead 3 that may not be what you want to hear, but nonetheless stay tuned for all of that as well. But I am a big Paper Mario fan, and it's actually one of my all-time favorite games, so I want to talk about that first. So the thing about Paper Mario, growing up, I absolutely loved this game, and I played it multiple times on the Nintendo 64. It was such a charming RPG, but really after the original Paper Mario game, Nintendo continued the franchise, but really they only kind of did. We got the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube, which was fantastic, but after that it seemed like Nintendo wanted to make a bunch of spin-offs of it, or change the formula rather drastically than just making a traditional Paper Mario game. We got Super Paper Mario, Mario Luigi Paper Jam, you had the Sticker Star, I believe that's the name of it, and so on and so forth, but they just were not as good as the original two, and that really kind of sucks. And I think Paper Mario fans know exactly how I feel. Nintendo, just stop trying so hard to make Paper Mario into something else than what it originally was. The originals were fantastic, so don't change it, and I think the reception kind of fits with what I'm saying. In fact, I actually made a top 15 games that needs to return list on YouTube, and I put traditional Paper Mario on that list. Well, Paper Mario fans, rejoice, because insiders are now claiming that a traditional Paper Mario game will be releasing in 2020, and I could not be any happier about this. The thing is though, this is just a rumor for the time being, but we are seeing multiple insiders talking about this, and one of them is Sabby. Now, if you don't know who Sabby is, well, Sabby basically leaked the entire Nintendo E3 in 2019, and very accurately, if I'm remembering correct. And it was so bad that Nintendo threatened legal action against Sabby. So yes, it does seem Sabby has a very good track record, so there may actually be some legitimacy to this about new Paper Mario game in 2020. Another insider by the name of Zippo from Resetera made a bold statement by saying this: "I'm not big on being vague, so I'll be super transparent here. I was told Paper Mario is coming this year and is a return to form. No idea when it's being announced, it's not a remake." So there it is, a new Paper Mario game that is not a remake, and it supposedly is returning to form, which is basically saying it will be like the original Paper Mario games. Of course, this is only a rumor for now, so take that as you will. It may end up being false, but as a big Paper Mario fan myself, I'm very hopeful about this right now. Now, speaking of these insiders, Sabby also is claiming that a new 2D Metroid will be coming in 2020, and this is not the first time we have heard a leak like this. Right before the Game Awards, another leaker by the name of Leaky Panda was claiming that Nintendo was working on 3 different Metroid games, which would have been a remake of an old Metroid game, the remastered Metroid Prime trilogy, and of course, Metroid Prime 4. A lot of people at that time was really skeptical, but thought if it was going to be announced, it would have probably showed up at the Game Awards, but when that didn't end up happening, people just kind of thought it was a fake leak. But now Sabby, which again has a very good track record, is claiming that Nintendo is at least working on a 2D Metroid game, and it does sound like a remake, but maybe not what you would have originally thought. It apparently has something to do with Metroid Fusion, that old Game Boy Advance game, which I think makes a lot of sense, honestly. Nintendo already has Super Metroid on the Nintendo Online app, and frankly, it still looks good even to this day. But Metroid Fusion, on the other hand, I would really like to see that come to the Switch, honestly. And I know a lot of people are really excited to see Metroid Prime 4, but I think these 2D Metroid games really, they hold up extremely well even today, and I think that's why you're seeing so many Metroidvania games in the last few years coming from indie developers. So while I can't 100% say that either of these leaks are true or not, I am very hopeful that they will be. But I want to hear your thoughts as well. Would you like to see Nintendo make a new traditional Paper Mario game and remake Metroid Fusion? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, we do have one more rumor to talk about, and this right now is more speculation than anything else. But of course, last week there was a lot of news buzzing around PlayStation's first-party game Horizon Zero Dawn coming over to the PC, and well, it's really all but confirmed by this point. But since that point, there has been a lot of speculation on Sony bringing over more games to the PC. Well, Naughty Dog posted a new job listing that is looking for a programmer that has experience with NVIDIA CUDA, PC programming, and DirectX 12. The thing is, PlayStation uses AMD architecture, so why would Naughty Dog be looking for experience with NVIDIA? Also, PlayStation doesn't use DirectX 12, so a lot of people started to notice this, and are we actually going to see more PlayStation games come over to the PC? Or is The Last of Us 2 going to come to PC, considering that is what Naughty Dog is working on right now? I've also seen speculation that maybe PlayStation will only bring the multiplayer mode over to PC, though I don't think that would be very likely, but who knows. I do want to point one thing out though, because Naughty Dog hasn't just been posting this job description since this week, like many has led you to believe. They have actually been doing this since 2018, looking for these same programmers, so it doesn't necessarily mean they are developing for PC as well, unless we believe that they have in fact been developing a PC game as far as back as 2018. I don't think that's very believable, to be honest, because I think Jim Ryan is the one that is really pushing for more PC games, and well, he took charge in 2019, so the timeline here just doesn't add up. With that said, I wouldn't be surprised if more PlayStation games does indeed come over to PC, but I'm not convinced that this job description is proof of that. The leaker Anton Loganov did, however, say that Sony was hinting at all of their games coming to PC, and he appears to be right about Horizon Zero Dawn at the very least, and again, like I said last week, he was the only person making this claim, so maybe he ends up being right about this as well. Time will tell, but it definitely seems PlayStation is primed to make a big shift in how they do business next generation, and I think this is a good thing for gamers and PlayStation. More people can enjoy these games and PlayStation can make more money. I will be interested in how PlayStation does approach this if it does end up happening though. Will they stick with the Epic Games Store going forward, or could they possibly make their own store? I could definitely see that happening, but time will tell. Anyways, moving on, we also got two different patents to talk about. One is the PlayStation Controller patent, or better known as the DualShock 5 controller. This patent though is detailing a built-in microphone for the controller. This isn't earth-shattering or anything, but it can be used for a few different things. If you ever owned the Kinect for the original Xbox One, it may have been a bad implementation for video games, but one thing it did do rather well is receive commands to navigate your Xbox. That is something that a built-in microphone can achieve as well. Saying something as simple as PlayStation, go home, or go to Netflix, it should be able to do these simple commands. Daniel Ahmad also talked about how this can be used in games like telling the game to mark the nearest health pack on the map, and the game can respond to that as well. It's a neat feature, though again, it's nothing major. Nintendo also had an interesting patent that dates all the way back to last June. So you know those little side pieces that you connect to your Nintendo Joycons when they're not attached to the Switch? Well, Nintendo has a patent where you could connect one of those side pieces, but instead of it just having these shoulder buttons, it would have a stylus pin. So more or less, you could turn your Joy-Con into a large stylus. If anything, this is very creative. I certainly would have never thought of something like this myself, though I do wonder what this could even be used for. A lot of the time, I completely forget that the Nintendo Switch has a touchscreen at all, so I think if this ever ended up being a thing, because you do have to remember patents don't always actually end up happening, but hypothetically, if it did, I think it would be very limited. There really isn't many games that would take full advantage of this. Maybe something like Mario Maker, but again, this is a very innovative idea. It's not something I would buy personally, but I'll ask you, would you be interested in buying something like this if Nintendo ever made something like it? In other news, we got another game delay. It seems like every game has been getting delayed over the last week. Both Final Fantasy VII Remake and Cyberpunk 2077, plus a few other games got delayed last week, but now Dying Light 2 has also been delayed. It was originally to be released this spring, but Techland put out a development update and stated that it will not make it in this spring. Honestly though, I'll say what I said last week because I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. For me, I just want these games to be of high quality, so to me, if a developer needs more time to make a better game, then that's okay. Is it disappointing if you're looking forward to a game? Well, sure, but I want high quality at the end of the day. Sadly though, it does not seem like Techland is ready to reveal a new release date, so you may be waiting for this one for a while. This very well could end up being one of the first titles for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. And speaking of PlayStation 5, there has been a big leak on the PlayStation 5 and PC game Godfall, as footage of this game has leaked online. I will not be posting the video on this channel, but if you do want to see it, there is footage out there of this game. As far as I'm aware, the footage is from an early 2019 internal trailer, so it's probably not the best indication of the final product. I mean, it does look a little rough around the edges, but Godfall, of course, is a looter hack and slash game, so something similar to like Destiny, but with swords. If you like those games, you may be interested in Godfall. You might want to go check it out. Now, the last thing I want to talk about today is some Left 4 Dead 3 news, because there has been a lot of rumors about Left 4 Dead 3. People have been claiming for a while now that Left 4 Dead 3 is a thing, but it seems Valve is sick of hearing the rumors, so they posted a little response, and here's what they had to say. We've seen rumors to this effect for the last couple of months. We did briefly explore Left 4 Dead next generation opportunities a few years ago, but we are absolutely not working on anything Left 4 Dead related now and haven't been for years. It's clear some people are having fun creating misinformation to spin up the community and other outlets. Unfortunately, for now, a new Left 4 Dead game is not something we're working on. So there you have it. Valve flat out denied that Left 4 Dead 3 is a thing, which is very unfortunate. I know there is a lot of fans of this franchise, and I think a third one would make a lot of people happy. Of course, you know, Valve doesn't like counting to 3 and all that nonsense, but I do appreciate Valve being so forthcoming about this though, and it does kind of show you why you do need to take leaks and rumors with a grain of salt. Sometimes they do end up being a thing, but that's not always the case, as Valve has proven here. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.